Hey guys, this is Corey with the Showdown Battle League, and we have the Season 4 Week 5 recap. I am joined by Brian of the Boston Braylooms, Carlos of the Oklahoma City Electivire, Dennis of the Wisconsin Whimsicots, Jack of the Toronto Raptors, and Kevin of the Baltimore Oricorios. And we're going to jump right in and do the match of the week, which was Jarrett and Brian. This was a pretty close match, to be honest. Kind of came down to a Stone Edge miss that cost Brian the game. So a couple of notes that I took from this one was the switch in on Volcarona onto Mienshao that got the burn. I think that really kind of crippled Mienshao and Jarrett's offense for a big portion of the game. A couple other notes that I took, the Shukaberry Empoleon that was able to survive the Earthquake. I think that was a pretty good prep by Jarrett. And the Incineroar surviving Aerial Ace on 1%. And then this match, there was a lot of over-predicts on Jarrett's side. He seemed to make some kind of questionable plays that he probably shouldn't have done. They were didn't really ever make the safe play, and I think that cost him some momentum. And then really the biggest one was the Stone Edge miss from Aerodactyl, and that really cost Brian the game. What do you guys think on this one?
Yeah, well, I think I was actually kind of in control of the game for most of the game, and Jared thought he was in control, so he thought he had momentum and thought he had like initiative to make plays that he just didn't really actually have the opportunity to make, just because I think he underestimated a lot of my bulk on some of my Pokemon, so he just went for simpler plays, or sorry, he went for predictions that just didn't work out based on what my spreads were. I don't know. It kind of, my whole strategy around playing with the Thundurus was getting to the late game with Aerodactyl against Thundurus, and I got to that position. But of course, Stone Edge is only 80 accuracy, so 80-20 in my favor. But that it's Pokemon, it happens.
Yeah, what I really liked in this match, and I think it's a theme in this whole week, is they were both coaches really utilizes their big threats. Like Jarrett uses Thundurus really well in this match, and Brian his bug fighting type, blanking on the name. Yeah, the big threats this week I think got used really well, and I think the coaches that won are the ones who utilize their bigger threats the best.
Yeah, I really think that Jarrett uses Thundurus really well. Really in all the games, but especially in this one. It's always been kind of his biggest threat on the field. And I did really like the HP flying this week to take down Heracross.
Does anyone actually know what item Jared was running on his Thundurus?
He was Expert Belt. I think he's been running it a lot, like Expert Belt. It's kind of random, but I think he likes it a lot, and it's working for him, I guess.
You see that? I think I was most impressed by Mega Heracross. I don't usually see too much on playing like OU or whatever, but just the sheer damage output. I mean, it has like 190 attack or something, I'm pretty sure, but the fact that it could basically 2-hit KO Granbull at -1 was, yeah, Heracross put in a lot of work this game, I think.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the more powerful threats that we've seen this season. And it's kind of surprising. I don't believe it's been used up until this point, so it's kind of fun to see a new Mega take the field and do well.
I think Ryan had it last year at the end of the season, but yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah, if only it was a little quicker, I think it would be a little more threatening if that was the case. Does anyone else have anything to add on the Jarrett and Brian game? Alright, we'll go ahead and move on to the play of the week, which was in Ryan and Chaven's game, and that was the Psych Up Latios after Manaphy set up a Tail Glow. It didn't have a huge impact on the game, but it was definitely a really cool move to see, and really showed a lot of prep on Chaven's side. And Chaven didn't end up winning that game, which was unfortunate, but definitely one of the cooler plays we've seen this season. Some notes that I had, Mixed Victini got kills on both Quagsire and Infernape, which was pretty huge for him, for Ryan. and then really the freeze on the Skarmory from the Mega Lopunny Ice Punch, and as we've seen, really with Mega Lopunny in general, it just kind of came up and did its own thing and won the game for him with really little need for setup on anything else.
Yeah, definitely. When it came to this match, Ryan did a really good job at getting rid of any resistance to Mega Lopunny, and yeah, once all that resistance was gone, he just cleaned up. The freeze definitely was crucial to that, but I think just overall, his prep was really good for this match, and I think without the freeze, he still could have won the match, and yeah, and it's another example of really utilizing and knowing their Pokemon. I think a lot of the coaches are getting to the point where they're getting really familiar with their Pokemon and are able to really get some really good cohesiveness with their teams.
What do the rest of you guys think on this game?
I really think the freeze was game changing. I mean, I think there was definitely like a lot. I think the game was actually in Taven's favor at that point because he was able to handle everything that was left on Ryan's team. I mean, he had the Scargophagus because it had been tricked, and the Lopunny, which was easily checked by Skarmory. Then that all changed when Skarmory got frozen, and that was kind of his remaining check for Lopunny, and kind of like fell over and lost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can go, Kevin.
I actually asked Taven afterwards. He had Brave Bird on his Skarmory. Between that and like Roost with Rocky Helmet, I think it definitely would have gone in Taven's favor. Had the freeze not happen, like a solid like 3-0. But against Pokemon, I think looking back at the play of the week, I think what's most impressive about the Psycho play from Latias is like it's really good regardless of the scenario. Like whether I mean, Chain was lucky that Manaphy didn't run Ice Beam, to be honest, but had he run a Calm Mindset or a Tail Glow set, it would have been really useful either way. And I think that nice versatility and being able to counter Manaphy was really useful for Chapin, like really helpful, especially since nothing else in his team was a reliable counter.
Yeah, I think the freeze was pretty unfortunate, but this has definitely been the most hacks-filled season I think we've had, so that just kind of lets it continue the trend. Jack, did you want to add anything to this game before we move on?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I completely agree with Brian. I think he played, just looking at the late game right now, Skarmory, he got rid of every single thing that could beat Skarmory, and that late game that would have been able to outstall and win him the game. At the very least, get rid of Lopunny, and then something else can deal with Donphan. So I think he played Skarmory really well, and I think it's an incredible Pokemon. So other than that, I think there's a few sets that have been kind of predictable on both sides. I think Chapin's brought Scarf Rotom 3 games in a row. I think Ryan has brought Life Orb Victini a lot, and I ran that a lot. It's a good set, but I think both sides should be a bit careful about getting a bit too stagnant with team building, because with the long season with playoffs, after a while it gets a bit more predictable.
So we'll go ahead and move on to the next game, which was Kevin and Tony. This is a win for Kevin. This is a pretty big win for Kevin. A couple of notes that I had. The double Stone Edge miss from Muck onto Mandibuzz. I don't think it was game-changing, but it definitely really hurt Tony. And then the substitute Alolan Executor really put in a significant amount of work and really won Kevin the game. So we do have Kevin here. Kevin, you want to talk about this game a little bit?
I guess I can. Yeah, to be honest, I just kind of want to mix my team up. I've been using the same 6 Pokemon over and over and over again, just for lack of time to prep. I looked at like Tony's team, and like Araquanid couldn't really do anything to his team, to be honest. Not with a defensive Zapdos or Caracosta running around. He had something else that resisted it, so I decided to swap that out for Executor. I decided to run like a nice like curse set on Regirock too, but I mean, for the most part, it's just like a pretty similar team to what I've been running the entire season, just with a few bigger defensive walls. And yeah, this is a pretty stolid game on my part, between like a Clefable and Mandibuzz on both sides, but it all just came down to honestly predicting is Zapdos. Like, I think Tony could have mixed his Zapdos setup a little bit. The agility became really predictable after a while. The agility baton pass and basically made me some really easy predicts when he baton passed out. So I think a more varied set would have been nice, but it was really yeah. When I saw +2 speed dagger, I was pretty worried, but after that went down, it was a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think he I really like the agility pass thing. It's pretty cool, but he kind of committed to it a little bit too hard. I mean, every time Zapdos came in, he would agility pass, and even like late game, he could have gone into like Muck or whatever Pokemon, but instead just went agility pass every time, and that kind of just led to his downfall.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of straightforward on Tony's end. He didn't really make a whole lot of game-changing plays. Stuck to the safe plays, but they didn't really do anything for him. So again, a pretty big win there for Kevin. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the next match. This is Dennis against Frank. This match was won by Dennis. And I really didn't have anything to add to this one. I don't feel like anything was too impressive. It was pretty straightforward. Dennis just outplayed Frank. That's really all that I took away from that one. Dennis, do you want to talk about this game?
I think that the only real mistake he made was when he thought that my Nihilego didn't have HP Ice. When I switched that out, I was really scared of. I was just scouting this item. I was just really scared of Scarf Chomp, destroying my team. Because at that point, I think like Buzzwole was really low, and then I had like Ampharos Mega, and like Tapu Fini was also kind of low, and like Klefki's not taking a hit. So I was just worried about Scarf Garchomp. But once he showed Life Orb, I was safe to like just sleep his team with Nihilego, which is what ended up happening. So I think if he's played a little more safe with his Garchomp, because I switched it in like kind of obviously, I thought. If he played a little more safe with Garchomp, I think he could have had that victory. It was really close at the very end.
I'm surprised when Nihilego got his first kill, he didn't go right into Blissey. He went into Gengar first, then Mimikyu, because I don't think Nihilego would have been able to beat that thing 1v1, and he still would have kept two other things in the back at full health, which could have maybe helped him late game, but I'm not entirely sure. Other than that, I think Dennis played just a really good game. Not too much I have to add here.
I think what's up about Blissey though, for Frank, at least from his perspective, is like every time Blissey comes in, it's basically a free switch in for Buzzwole, which means something on Frank's team is going to die or take a lot of damage. So it was pretty risky, I think, for him to switch Blissey in. I think the biggest thing, honestly, with this game was like Nihilego is literally 1 speed point faster than Garchomp. And with that means it's basically only kind of the Frank had for Nihilego and his team went down to it. And that really helped with late game for Dennis.
I think you might have mistook like the Beast Boost ability, right? I actually I didn't fully invest in special attack so that my speed would be higher than my special attack. So when I Beast Boosted, I didn't get a special attack boost. I got a speed boost, which let me outspeed the Gengar. So maybe he thought like, he could blow me up with something his Gengar had. But Nihilego's also pretty tanky, spit fly, so I don't know. I think it wins the 1v1 against Gengar regardless.
Yeah, I think unfortunately this was just a week that Frank's prep did not really come through for him. And I have noticed that when Frank's games start kind of going downhill, he kind of throws prep out the window and makes some plays that are not really the greatest. So I think the pressure just kind of got to him this week. He did have a pretty, it was a loss, but I don't think it's anything that he can't bounce back from. And so with that, we'll move on to Joe against Christian. This was Christian's second win, so it was a pretty important match for him. One thing I really liked, though, and I was actually on voice chat playing another game while Joe was doing this match, and in the chat he had mentioned that he would be very excited if Talonflame came in when he is Stone Edge, and then it happened. So that was a pretty huge prediction on Joe's part. But other than that, it was just a pretty straightforward game. Christian's matchup was just a little better, and ended up getting the win there. What do you guys think on this one?
I think he used Mega Metacham really well this week. He got 3 kills with it, and he got a massive hit on Mega Slowbro, which allowed other things to revenge kill, which I think was really good. So it's finally good to see that thing put in work. Other than that, he used his walls really well. He just kept them alive long enough that they could do what they needed to do, which was important. Only like minor thing I'll say on the end of the game, he had like Slowbro at like 10%, and I think his only other thing was low impersion. He put in chat, I think I lose, which I thought was weird because Sylveon shot sped and killed everything else on the other team. But that didn't really matter in the long run because he still just killed with the Moongus and won from there. But I thought it was kind of an odd thing in chat that he didn't know what his own like win condition was that late in the game. But outside of that, yeah, the Stone Edge play on Joe's part was really good. Like Joe's losses have been super close. I think he's really keeping all these games very close. He just can't seem to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, I agree. It's all been close games, and luckily for Joe, he can still come back from them. So that is good for him, but unfortunate that he lost. Definitely has to be an ego booster for Christian though. He had the first couple weeks with no wins, so that was it's pretty nice for him to kind of come back a little bit. Anyone else want to add to this one before we move on?
I mean, it's definitely cool to see Christian. He's definitely starting to adjust his Pokemon. Pokemon like Crocodile and Mega Medicham are ones that he's really starting to learn how to use really well. And I'm definitely excited to see how he continues to use them in future weeks.
Alright, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. And that was Jack against Cody. And this was a huge win for Jack. It actually put him back into the #1 spot. He got a 6-0 sweep with a sub-Calm Mind Cobalion. And there's really not anything else to talk about this week, to be honest. That's all that happened. So Jack, do you want to talk about this, since this is the second time you've done it this season?
Yeah, as soon as you went for Nuzzle on the sub and it didn't break, I knew I was in a good position, but from there I was able to kind of just clean up. He had, I think it was a Zing Zap on Togedemaru. I think that actually could have brought the sub, or broken the sub. I'm not sure why he kept going for Nuzzle repeatedly, especially even after I revealed it. I thought that was kind of a misplay. But other than that, I just kind of needed the one set to put in work. Like, I had other sets that could have also been helpful, but like a good setup sweeper that can set up on like more passive things on his team was able to do everything I needed to. And I actually talked to him about Togedemaru because he had like a cool Assault Vest set, which didn't really get showcased. I was talking to him about it afterwards. It had like reversal and he had sturdy. He thought he might be able to get to like 1% snipe something, but yeah, other than that, there also isn't a whole lot to say about this game.
Yeah, it was, like I said, pretty straightforward. Setup, was it turn 1, turn 2 that you started the setup?
It was turn 4, I think. I swapped around and set up rocks and a few things.
Okay, yeah, so pretty much immediately got the setup in place and then won. So there's not really anything else on that one. Big loss for Cody and big win for Jack. And we'll go ahead and move on to the last match that we have. I did want to mention that Lewis did not get his game in against Josh this week, so we will be skipping that one. And Josh got a +3 victory. So the last match of the week was Carlos against Hans. Hans did win this match. I think both of them played very well. It was just Hans was able to pick it up at the end. One thing that I do want to mention is that the Terrakion missed a Stone Edge that could have potentially killed Excadrill and helped a little bit on differential, but I don't think that would have really affected the game at all. And Carlos also used Landorus D very well. I liked how he played with that this week. And Carlos, with you being here, do you want to discuss this game?
Yeah, so overall when it comes to this match, I feel like it was definitely my best match in a while. I've been last week I also did much better than the 2 weeks previous to that, but I'm on a cold losing streak and I'm hoping to turn around next week. But when it comes to this match, it was very close. Just a few set differences or plays here or there, and I definitely could see the match going in my favor. For example, if he was Jolly Pinsir, there was a point when Landorus could have swept with knockoff. if I went for HP ground with my Jolteon late in the match, I could have just won. And yeah, so it came down to a few just little things, and it was a very well played match on both sides, in my opinion. And I'm excited to face him later in the season and get my revenge.
Does anyone else have any feedback on this match before we wrap up?
I thought this was like my personal favorite match of the week because it was just a really exciting one, sort of back and forth, like all around. The only minor thing I'll say is what something Carlos just mentioned. Hans made a really risky play at the end of the game, kind of unnecessarily, where he switched in Excadrill on Jolteon when he knew it at HP ground. And if Carlos had made that prediction, he would have won. Like he would have like reverse like swept him. He could have just sacked off Slowbro and then gone to Excadrill and won 100%. I think it's just a minor thing. Play for the win, not for differential, and don't like risk your win condition in like the last turn of the game when you pretty much have a one. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Yeah, Carlos said he did. Carlos, did you have Shadow Ball on your Jolteon?
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah, that would have been I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts, or I mean, it's in the past, but yeah, it would have been a nice for all the second types of the end there. But what can you do?
But yeah, overall, a good game. I think, unfortunately for Carlos, other than that, the Excadrill play, he just kind of got to a point where there was nothing else that he could have done. So that is week 5. One thing I do want to mention, we did have some changes to our conference leaders this week. So right now, Kanto Conference is pretty stacked. We've got almost the entire conference in the positive differentials, whereas the opposite is true. Just like in seasons past with Johto, where majority of the conference is in the negatives. So currently, Jack of the Toronto Staraptors is the Kanto Conference champion. He's 4-1 with plus 14, and Jarrett is right behind him. He's 1 differential short with the same record. And for Johto, we actually have Kevin is the conference champion for that one. He's at 3-2 and plus 6, and Frank is right behind him, 3-2 and plus 4. So it's still that spot for both divisions or both conferences is very close. And just like it seems to be every season, red and blue conferences or divisions, I'm sorry, are both very close as well. Whereas most of the other ones are a little bit further apart. And then with that, we'll go ahead and take a look at week 6. We do have free agencies going into effect for that week, so that'll be something to watch for. And we'll have a video coming up on those as well. We'll kind of cover those in a separate section. But for week 6, a couple of games that I'm looking forward to seeing. Definitely Ryan and Jarrett is going to be a big one. Jack and Kevin, I think, is going to be a really good one as well. Hans and Josh is another one that I think is going to be a fun one to watch. And what do you guys think about this week?
I think Carlos and Frank is gonna be fun.
Yeah, that was the one I was gonna say. Carlos Frank seems super cool, and then also Ryan Jarrett's is also gonna be just. I think they're like number 2 and 3 right now in the rankings, and both of them have been number 1 at least one point this season. I think that's gonna be like a really intense match.
Yeah, I agree. I think that one, and then the Jack and Kevin game is going to be pretty huge. It's the 2 conference champions going at it for that one.
This is my time to shine. I'm gonna get 10k points this week.
So with that, we'll go ahead and end the week 5 recap, and we will see you guys next week.